Hello and welcome to the Tyrants in Training podcast. I am the host, Kevin Ryan. This little podcast invites guests on to rule over their own country in any way they like. Today's guest is screenwriter, actor and producer Kyle Andrews. Hello, Kyle, future ruler.
Hello, Kevin. How are you, bud?
I am very good. How are you? Actually, I'm going to ask this question just for myself. I've written down that you're screenwriter, actor and producer. Which would you class yourself as first?
Well, I mean, as of today, I would probably say screenwriter. We'll see where that's at next month. It really depends on who wants to pay me for what.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now, I'm working as a screenwriter, and then when I get hired to be an actor, maybe we can pop that one up front.
That kind of sounds. It sounds like a practical, logical attitude to have, right?
It's confidence building. I put myself out there, my best foot forward, right? And then the other feet that I want to follow along can, and I've suddenly got 3 feet walking around.
Do you think that is going to help you if you rule a country?
No, if I were to rule a country, I think I need to be producer first, for sure. You know,
right.
None of the ideas, all of the say.
Yes. Do you think of yourself as someone who I could rule a country? Or would you be like, no, other people? Do you think you'd be hands off or hands on?
As a Virgo, I think that I am kind of tuned to want to rule a country. Whether I would be good at it or not, I think would be something to be seen. However, would I want to at least have a little time? I absolutely would like to cut my teeth a little bit.
Give it a go.
Ruling. Yeah, I'd love to wield absolute power for a minute.
That is the correct attitude to have on this podcast. To be honest, I've had one or two who seem so misguidedly hell-bent on allowing other people to live their own lives. No, you need to rule over. So on this podcast, what we do is we don't let you set up your own country within a country. So you can't just take over part of America. You're going to have to pop up an island somewhere in the world. Okay. So where in the country or where in the world do you want us to make your new home?
Well, as much of a New Englander as I am, I think I need to be closer to the equator somewhere because I enjoy it being a little warmer. That said, I don't want to establish a banana republic of some kind, so maybe warm but not too warm, where hurricanes are only occasional. They're not coming up every week or two. So yeah, I guess somewhere in the Pacific. It sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think you're going? Oh, but you're not going down toward South America so much.
No, I think I'd be closer to Hawaii. In fact,
Yes.
I think I'd be somewhere out there, somewhere between the U.S. and Australia. Sounds nice.
Lovely.
Equidistant, in fact. So I could go either to California or to the East Coast of Australia, whatever's on that side.
Melbourne, actually, that's
Melbourne. Yeah, there you go. Gold Coast. We'll go there.
They're two of the places I visited the furthest away from Ireland. So what we do is, right, I don't know, it's a very quick or very early into the questions asked, but do you have any idea what name you'd have on your island?
Ooh, what name? I mean, Bostonia, probably 2 on the nose.
Bostonia?
Bostonia. Yeah. Hey, why not? Bostonia. There we go.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is, as a disembodied voice inside your head acting as an advisor, I'm going to write down these just to be able to give these notes to your administration, because obviously you as the ruler, do you want people to elect? Usually I give guests 2 choices. Do you want people to elect 100 senators into a Senate and they'll handle all the everyday activities, or do you want just an inner circle of advisors that you'll pick, you'll deal with?
Well, I guess I'd have to know how much power the Senate itself would wield in that case.
Again, they'll deal with all the kind of miscellaneous stuff that we couldn't be bothered dealing with, but they'd have some. You'll have ultimate say.
So this is like a pre-Caesar Roman Republic with the senators.
To be honest,
or are we going in Caesar Imperial? I just have my closest advisors, and I'm the be all end all.
It's more like the early days of the empire, where you're the emperor. The Senate is there, and they can do things, but you have say.
I actually think that it would make more sense for me to have I'm a guy who prefers representational, proportional government, because I need somebody to blame. And if everybody's just coming to me and it's my own inner circle, then the buck stops here, and I can't always have the buck stop with me. It will stop with me when the decisions are good. But if I need a scapegoat, I got to go into the there has to be an opposing party for me to have.
Right. So that's what, because that's one of the things is that I suppose with your inner circle route, if you were just going that way, the people who are on your island don't get a chance to vote. They just don't have it, I suppose. If they have a Senate, they can vote in the Senate, unless you decide they can't. But you're going to go with the Senate either way?
I like having a voting Senate because, I think that as long as they're term limited, and I'm not term limited.
Oh yeah.
Then that's a perfect situation. That's great.
So term limits.
That gives you plausible deniability, and plausible deniability, Mr. Voice in my head with a piece of paper. It's exactly what we're looking for.
Right. So I have term limit Senate, and then in brackets to blame. So that's fine. Cool. Do you have an official title for yourself that we should be calling you instead of just calling you Kyle?
I like. I think that a long title is probably just too egregious. I don't need to be sitting there being told all of my titles back. I'm not that kind of person. I think but I think Brother Kyle goes a little too Catholic. So it's got to be somewhere that's familiar, but not too familiar. So maybe his Dudeness. Wait, where am I? Am I pulling that from the Big Lebowski? I'm okay with that. His Dudeness.
I mean, yeah, they can't sue you. I mean, you're your own country. No.
That's true. No copyright laws there.
So his Dudeness, are we just saying his Dudeness, or are we adding Kyle at the end of it? Or is it just his Dudeness?
Oh, I think his Dudeness is enough. Because who else is going to be the dude? I want to be clear up front. I'm not establishing a Coen Brothers style island here. Right. We're not going to have, there's not going to be lady killers around. We're not going to be, nobody's going to be sitting wistful on a beach, like the end of Barton Fink, if anybody gets that reference.
Do you want me to, or do you want your government to get the Coen brothers?
I think we could. I mean, if we could have them at least in an ambassador role, I think that would be nice. Well, Ethan more than Joel, I think.
Okay.
I think Ethan, because Ethan, I think, is the one who's usually in the director's chair more often. I know these guys are pretty equal on that, but let's be clear, in a brother relationship, there's always some kind of There's got to be, right? I mean, that's what makes brothers, I think, such great directors, or sisters like the Wachowski sisters. I mean, they're just.
So I will get on to Brian in the office to get on to Ethan and ask him, is he interested in coming to Bostonia for a bit? Ambassadorship.
I think Ethan. Joel can come. They can both come. I think they're best as a pair. Let's be real.
Right.
You don't want to split them too much. You want to have them in the same. So we can have Joel can sit there and just chime in every once in a while.
Cool. Okay, so we have his Dudeness. By the way, why is it his Dudeness? I mean, what I mean is,
because
does that mean
because those are my pronouns? I'm not their Dudeness. I'm his Dudeness.
But is it that? So if I'm talking about you and I say his Dudeness, is it that Kyle has a Dudeness?
Well, I think Kyle is a dude,
right?
But the essence of Kyle is a Dudeness. So it's like
Yeah.
So you're not. It's not just a title. It's also a vibe.
Right. I now learned something.
Well, I never got his royal Dudeness, because that's redundant. You just say his Dudeness.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. His Dudeness. So when they're talking to you directly, face to face, do they say his Dudeness or your Dudeness?
I would hope they would say sir.
Sir. Okay. Polite. Sir. Okay.
It's not a command. It's just I prefer politeness in my society.
Right. So when we have them set up, where do you want to live on your island?
Oh, I think an underground bunker sounds great.
Right, love it. Is there anything up above the soil, or is it just?
Oh, sure. I would need sunlight every once in a while, so I got my vitamin D.
Right,
power.
Maybe yes. Are we? I mean, are you kind of closing yourself off from your citizens a bit?
The royal we is okay. I do think that I would. No, I'm a very private person. And if I'm going to be with someone, I want to invite them in. I don't want them to just be able to come in whenever they want to.
Yes.
I do. The representational government is there for them to relay their issues to me a little indirectly through their representatives.
So if any of the senators want to get to you, they have to make an appointment to get into your bunker, right?
Well, that's just polite. I mean, appointments.
And you're doing your dealings and everything. You're doing what you have to do in your bunker. You're not going into an office in the capital.
Oh, well, I think the bunker is really cool. it's really nicely set up. I want people to see all of my pops. So it's best to invite people in. And I want to be clear on this. Pops will be legal as long as I am ruler.
Are they illegal? So there is a risk of them not being legal. Is that
there is if they get rid of me, that's for sure. Yeah. If I'm not in power, I can't promise that pops will always be legal.
Might be illegal. Okay.
Could be. You never know.
Are we talking about this bunker being out in the middle of nowhere, like in a forest or something, or is it in the city but you just can't get down to it?
Well, what's nice is my island is sort of like, it's a hexagon because it was more styled that way because, again, I am OCD and I do like to have all of my avenues available to me. And a hexagon is, of course, nature's perfect structure, just like a beehive. So that gives us the most protection on the outside, but on the inside, it also gives you the most serenity. It's like a hug. So I'm in the center of that hug because I just enjoy the warmth and the coziness there, but it's also so that I can be equidistant from anybody who may need.
Oh, so this is a big bunker.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
You got the whole underground because the nice thing about a bunker is you never have to take any space on top. So above ground, it's all agrarian and you have, fields to grow stuff. And I don't go out to that stuff much. I don't like dirt, but I do, I enjoy the smell of cows. So I do have, we've got farmland up to the north. I think to the south, you've got more of the textiles, the makers. To the east, you have your artists and you have your that's where we're I again, I'm a Virgo, so I really like designating zones. You know how that goes.
Do you think when you're making up the island here, are you going to be actually when you're allowing people in, because usually I tell people, look, the island's going to have about 10 million people on it.
Well, voice in my head, that is an ambitious number.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be grand. Just so we know, are we banning anyone, or are we limiting anyone coming in, or is it just open reign, anyone can come in, or are we setting a couple of restrictions?
Well, as far as immigration goes, we will let in all refugees. However, when it comes to bringing in, people on work visas and things like that, I would say that no sourpusses.
So no downers, no sourpusses.
No downers, no Debbie Downers. No.
Any questions we should ask them to try and weed them out?
Do you smile? That's smile? Smart. Yeah, knock, knock. If you don't reply who's there, then you can't come in. Knock,
knock, and then no reply, you're kicked back off land. Okay.
Yeah, right out of here.
Right,
you also have to be able to, you don't have to enjoy dad jokes. You do have to allow for them to exist without trying to shut them down.
What if someone doesn't know what a dad joke is?
Oh, then I feel bad for them because we can get them a father if they need.
So we provide them with a father. Okay.
We can. I mean, that's a service that we provide here. No
provide fathers.
We provide fathers and we provide mothers.
Okay. I think there'll be a sizable amount of orphans coming into the country.
That's right. Hey, the more the merrier.
Okay, that's part of the signage.
Literally merrier. It's Oliver and Company. We're trying to do a live 10 million.
Right. That'll be great at Christmas. The other thing is what? Oh, sorry, this is one I like. What unusual list is your country top of in the world?
Best sheep shearers.
Best in what way are they the best?
Because they both are skilled and they're friendly. They're the nicest sheep shearers, and they also shear sheep quick. They shear sheep. I was going to say long. That's probably not the right way to do it. They do a healthy amount of shearing per year, and that rises the numbers. And then our sheared sheep are also well taken care of.
So the wool as well. I mean, where are we exporting that? We're making money off that.
Of course, we've got the textile. Yeah, we've got those textile mills in the south. We've got the farmland in the north, so it's a nice north-south pipeline. We can avoid any internal struggles that way. We keep the north and south together, unlike other countries who like to split them apart for some reason.
So this is a balmy Bostonia off in between California and Melbourne that is just acing. It's a little bit like New Zealand.
It is a little. I was thinking of making New Zealand here, or New Zealand or the Falkland Islands. We're just, hey, New Zealand's got it down. They seem to be doing all right. 2 islands too. Can you believe it? That's a wealth of islands down there.
So you'd look to be allies with New Zealand, right?
I think that New Zealand would make sense to be an ally with. I don't know that we're on Oceania proper. I also would, I would look to the our east to Costa Rica. I would absolutely want to ally with the fine folks in Costa Rica as well. We could actually have a triumvirate of Bostonia, Costa Rica, and New Zealand. That actually sounds, I kind of want that. That sounds nice.
I'll get on to the two of them. I do have bad news, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm not a fan of bad news.
I'm sorry, His Dudeness, your dude, sir. Brian from the Department of War, he got a phone call from the UN. The UN has said that the World War III is after breaking out.
Oh no.
So they figure, look, the only way we're all going to get over this is if every country in the world goes to war with another country. So they're asking you, will you announce what country you're going to war with, and please, give your citizens a reason why you're going to war with a country. So if you
so this is like just a great. We just got to get this all out. World War III.
Oh, we just got to get it out. It's the purge.
Got to let some tension out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We watched the purge. Let's go to war. Yeah.
Well, who do my agrarian sheep shearers sound like they would best in this? Well, I think we could probably take on Denmark.
Denmark.
We're going to take on Denmark. We want Greenland.
Why do we want Greenland?
Because that's more land for the sheep.
Right.
Brother, this is our economy here. This is our economy we're talking about. The reason we're on top of sheep shearing is because that's most of what we export is the goods of the sheared sheep.
And the Danes aren't being reasonable.
Well, I mean, it's unreasonable for such a small country to have so much extra land, don't you think?
Exactly.
We've got 10 million people. Did they have 7 million on 7 million soaking wet?
So
how many Danes are there in the world? I actually don't know that.
5.8 apparently. Half the size, twice as bothersome.
That's just a nuisance. Like let's take that. But we don't need Denmark. They can keep Denmark. We just want Greenland.
Do we take Norway as well? Because they're another 5 million. Or you? Oh no, we're not trying to add up. No.
The problem with Norway is that then if you're going to take Norway, might as well take Sweden and Finland there, and suddenly you're battling Russia, and we all know how that worked out. I never want to.
So we're going for Scandinavia.
I think all of Scandinavia. Well, my girlfriend is Swedish and Norwegian, so really I'm just.
She knows the country already. She'd be great for intelligence.
That's what it is. Got to give her. Her folks are from Texas, but yeah, it's probably 1 degree separation there. It's probably,
So you said at the start of that you were kind of wondering what who the sheep shearers would easily best in battle, I think. So are you planning? So you're planning on using your world famous sheep shearers in battle against the armies of Scandinavia?
They're also well trained militia. I want to be clear on that. They're not just sheep shearers. On my island, you are both. It's like if you were a warrior monk. You were a monk in your religion, but you were also training to be a fighter for your religion. A knight Templar, if you would. That's what these sheep shearers are.
I mean, they must really, and pardon my French, your dudeness, sir, but they must fuck people up with those scissors, right?
Fucking A right, they do.
Jeez.
And in fact, there are. You might think that there's just one size of scissor, but there are several sizes.
I imagine
shearing utensils. Shearing utensils is how I refer to them.
Yeah, I imagine they have. I don't know exactly, but if they have robes or anything, because you said warrior monks, the flowing. I don't know the exact type of garment, but they have a collection of scissors, right?
Under their kilts, we wear kilts.
Oh, sorry,
so
kilts.
Right under it's a full body kilt. It's not just the waist down kilt that is so popular in other countries. We have a full body kilt, almost a toga, but it doesn't have that. You have both shoulders covered.
Okay, yes.
Extra pockets for you.
So I've let that known to Brian, who's gone on to the UN and told them that you've announced war with Denmark, pretty much Scandinavia, I think. Anyone who tries to mess up.
Honestly, it's just revenge for my Irish and English heritage. What the Danes and Norwegians did way back centuries ago. There's red in my beard because of them. So I have to just honoring my heritage here.
Honestly, growing up in Ireland, I never had an issue with the Scandinavians. But as I said, I'm only a voice. What we're saying officially is we want Greenland. We need room for sheep. and we're sending our crack legion of sheep shearers over to sort them out.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Look, the world's at war. They're more than happy with that. Good reason. By the way, just on the domestic front, what do you want banned in the country? What seemingly mundane thing do you want banned in Bostonia?
Well, I'm not one for banning necessarily, but what I would hope that my people would agree that we didn't need are.
So are you making an announcement? Oh, what do we think of this, as opposed to banning?
Second thoughts. Second thoughts.
Yeah. So, okay.
You have to be impulse driven in my country.
Second thoughts. So I mean, that war is not going to end prematurely. That is going to continue on.
Yeah, until we have Greenland. I mean, that's what we want. That's what we've said we needed. The UN has set it up in the fact that we need to, and so I feel like you're just got to follow through on it.
Yeah, it's like an open goal.
That's what I'm saying.
Do we? Okay, so we can ban. Well, I mean, we can. Are we banning second thoughts, or are we just?
Well, if you're going to say you're going to do something, you have to commit to it. You can't back out at the end. If you back out at the end, that is you suggesting that you don't need to live anymore. At least not on my end.
So you do want us now to ban second thoughts?
I mean, if I have a choice here, and let's be honest, I do.
Yes.
Choose here. Yes, I think second thoughts. Now that said, certainly you can change your mind. Changing your mind is okay. It's not that but you have to have somebody convince you to change your mind. You yourself can't just go, well, maybe
actually,
I should do this, because that's just backing out. That's not. You should have assessed those things to begin with. You make your primary decision. And then go with it. And then someone else can say, wait a minute, have you thought about this? And then you go, I couldn't because I wasn't allowed to. But now that you're presenting it to me, yes, I can think about that. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't go kill a bunch of people,
So legally, you need a third party to be there to witness you changing your mind.
Well, it's about community.
And okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good message as well. I do have more bad news, unfortunately. Lauren came in and let me know.
I'm going to keep kicking you out of my head pretty soon.
It was Lauren who just emailed. So Lauren let it be known that the news channel, they are after finding out about a scandal involving you. At this point, I'm going to mention that this is a light entertainment podcast. So keep it light and breezy. But there's a scandal about to be exposed. To the country. The only thing is you get to pick what type of scandal it is. So what do you want people to find out that might be embarrassing or troubling for your administration?
Well, I would love to pick a scandal here, but I'm also limited in national scandalizing with a PG-13 rating. I can't give a hard R rating on this. So my PG-13 scandal is that I don't actually know how to shear sheep myself.
Oh my God! That is awful.
I know, and I may have murdered several people to keep that under wraps. I mean, that's PG-13. As long as I'm not having sex with them, it's being kept. As long as I'm just killing them.
Would you like to know a little fact about this podcast?
I would love to know.
I think this is the 7th recording I've done. You were the first person to have murdered someone in your scandal.
Oh no! Well, I'm ambitious. What can I say?
Cool. Yeah. So you don't know how to. Have you attempted to do?
I did. I tried to do it, and I ended up killing 6 people. It was just a nightmare.
Okay. So what Lauren was thinking is that because of the scandal, Sheepgate is getting out of hand. We might need to put you onto.
That's what we're calling it. Oh no.
We're calling it Sheepgate. Yes. Not Murdergate. Not vicious crime.
You got to get to the topic that will let us. Murdergate could be anything.
Yeah, nobody's going to listen to Murdergate or His Dudeness kills loads of people. No, I'm not interested. But Sheepgate, Dudegate. So she figured, look, we might have to put you on the top news program in the country. Where you sit down in a chair and across from you is the best interviewer, and they say, we have to talk. We have to move from your foreign policy. We have to talk about Sheepgate. So we appreciate you coming on. So what I'm asking you is, during this interview, what lame and easily see-through bullshit political lies are you going to tell to excuse this scandal and try and fend off criticism?
Well, Piers, what I would say to you is that sheep shearing is such an ingrained national piece of pride that when a leader cannot shear up to the same level of an average Bostonia sheep shearer,
yes,
that's actually how society's supposed to work.
In what way?
Because the hierarchy works in that if I were to make a piece of clothing that I sheared, that would take a job away from someone who needed to provide for their own family. Meanwhile, requiring an average Bostonia person,
yes,
we can't call them Bostonians legally, so an average person from Bostonia,
yes,
trying to lead this country, that would be too much to ask, and I would never put that sort of pressure on the shoulders of my people ever. So really, I was trying to abide by, and the dude abides. The dude certainly abides. I was trying to abide by the customs of Bostonia to the letter. And unfortunately, several people tried to undermine what we know to be the most important aspect of life on Bostonia, which is allowing a person to shear for themselves.
We have to talk about last month. You were at the Senate's annual fair, and you were convinced into shearing sheep, or what we thought was shearing sheep. Now, as we saw on the video, when you sat down to try and shear Flossie, the lovely sheep, instead of doing so, as you described, you are not a professional sheep shearer who is currently at war in Copenhagen, but you did proceed to somehow end up out of your chair and stabbing 6 people who subsequently died. Do you think you could have stopped that in any way?
Well, you shouldn't run with scissors.
I mean, the attack went on for 3.5 hours.
Well, you shouldn't run a marathon with scissors.
Good point.
And that was a marathon of
murder. Yes.
But in this country, we know that there is nothing more important than the Bostonia Marathon.
Are you sure about that?
Well, it's national pride, sir. It's national pride, Pierce, and it is a sacrifice that 6 senators made when they came in and asked me to engage in something that, as representatives of my people, they should have known was not going to work out.
Yes.
So really, I think these 6 senators, you really have to look at their history, what they had done, perhaps. Maybe these 6 senators, they may have murders in their own history. I have actually suggested to my police force that we actually need to go through and see what these 6 senators may have done that led to them coming in and providing the occasion for their death.
And you believe you will find something out of those 6 senators to justify their death?
I am confident that my police force will absolutely find something. We don't even know. These people may have been shearing goats, and we know that you can't shear a goat.
No.
You have to escape from the goats. Escape from those goats, and that's those 6 senators, man.
So you said, just I suppose to finish this interview, you said that you don't regret it in a way because we all should have expected this to happen. It was unfair to assume that you could shear a sheep and not kill 6 people.
I regret that I was put in that position.
Yes.
I regret that entirely.
Do you think in future?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, do you think in future, when you look back on this this killing spree, do you think you will find yourself any bit culpable?
Do I find myself where?
Do you find yourself any bit culpable for?
Culpable.
Yes.
I thought you asked if I was comfortable. I'm very comfortable. This is a nice chair, but I think
you're comfortable.
Will I find
with
myself
deaths?
culpable? I do feel as though if we can get 6 new senators, and we know we've got some special elections coming up soon, vote party. I believe that once those senators are in the seat, they will find that I was correct and that I should never have been put in the position to shear a sheep in the first place. And I feel confident no senator will ever come to me and ask me to do it again.
Not that they can't get through your bunker anyway most times. So yeah, it should be pretty good. Okay. I'm just saying, me and Lauren were just off from the sideline. We thought the interview went great. Thought you answered that very well. Thank you. I think it's one of those things where people were a bit down on His Dudeness initially when they saw the 6 screaming people,
6 streaming senators, let's remember.
Probable criminals, yes. But yeah, once you mentioned the fact that they're being investigated and that it was national pride that they should have been looking out for and not trying to get you to shear sheep.
Well,
yeah, they're coming around to it.
In a nation of 10 million people, why do these 6 think that they get to come to me and ask me to do something that they know isn't my job? That's all.
During wartime as well.
Yeah, there's a war to win, and that's not very patriotic if you ask me.
We do think though it would be a good idea if we just got a photo up, just to make sure everyone knows how cool His Dudeness is. Something like Putin sitting on a bear chested, that sort of thing. But you get to, whatever you want to do. If you want to go like in North Korea, where that guy goes around to a factory and points as if he's telling people what to do, whatever you want. What do you think we should do for your photo op?
Oh, well, I'm a glutton for the stage.
Yes.
I certainly believe that just doing some Shakespeare would probably win over the people, because of course Bostonia is filled with artisans. Yeah, orphan artisans. Orphan
artisans.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right.
Just a nation of orphan artisans. And so of course I would monologue. I would pick something from one of the histories or one of the dramas, the comedies. I'm not sure if it's appropriate, but probably not going to hold Yorick's skull in my hand. That doesn't send the right image. I guess
maybe not.
Yeah. No. But you know what? I take it back. The comedies might be good. I might be Puck. You never know. Or Oberon feels more my speed. But I think people in our country, they wouldn't get a kick out of me as a fairy prince.
Do you want the Coen brothers to direct the Shakespeare play since they're here?
Ethan can.
Ethan. Don't let Joel in. Right, no Joel.
Let Joel, Joel can say what he wants to say, and we can be like, oh, yes, thank you for your input.
But
and then
I'll get Lauren to kind of just keep him occupied. Yeah.
I think that's for the best.
Right, Lauren is on Joel duty. Cool, yeah, like a big Shakespeare play for no photo op. That'd be great. Yeah. We have good news from the Department of War. Brian has come back.
Finally, good news.
The UN are saying that we're ending World War III. Well, we're trying to get it ended. Enough of that.
Yeah, we won. Oh, we won Greenland?
Sure, yeah. I mean, they're badass sheep shearers, yeah. So you now have control of Greenland, seemingly. By the way, what are we doing with it now that you've control of it?
Well, if we've got Greenland, then Canada's right next door. You know what I'm saying? Look at all that.
Oh, so we're attacking Canada.
Oh no! I didn't say that in so many words. I'm just like, I'm
sending the sheep shearers.
Yes, I'm only 38. I've got there's big, ideally wars will be coming. You never know.
So do you want us to open up like cells in Canada, like sheep shearing cells? Say that quick. Sheep shearing cells.
Sheep shearing cells.
Love it.
She shears she sheeps by the seashore. That's it.
Yeah. Do you want to set them up in Toronto and Montreal and stuff? In future, World War IV could happen.
Voice in my head, this does sound like a good idea. I think that's a great idea. This is why you're the voice in my head. I selected you particularly.
Thank you very much.
A wonderful idea. And actually, let's make sure that we're getting. I want a cell in every city that has an NHL franchise.
Oh, is
Toronto,
there any reason?
Montreal, Vancouver, Winnipeg.
Is there a specific reason? Is it just so we can go to the games?
I love hockey.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly it.
Oh, so you're actually going to be at the cells?
Well, I mean, cells is such a. I think the word we're looking for is diplomatic consort. I think these are. You want these folks to have legitimacy.
Right.
Sheep shearers are needed everywhere, and our sheep shearers are the best in the world. So certainly they will be invited in a more diplomatic sense. And then, of course, voice in my head, who's not recording this and putting this out on the airwaves. Yes. Then, once people are comfortable with us, attack when necessary.
Yes, of course.
That's exactly.
I was going to say that you were saying there about, I suppose, the branding of a cell. You want to change it to be a bit easier on the eye. But I mean, is your official residence known as a bunker?
Oh, happy home.
Happy home. Right. Okay. And that's the no sourpuss rule kind of coming in there.
That's right. No sourpusses in my happy home.
Happy home. Okay. Get that written down. By the way, when we were talking to the UN, they said, look, just to make sure World War III finishes up, I need a favor from you. The worst politician that you can think of Which the worst politician you have ever witnessed, the worst person you have ever witnessed, who would ever make a world leader. They're in charge of that country you don't like. They are flying into your country. You're going to have a press conference just to say how everyone's made up now. World War III is over. So I just kind of want to figure out what you're going to say and do while you're standing up on the podium beside them. They have strong views against sheep shearing. They think any ruler worth their salt should know how to do it. They commiserated with the 6 senators who died. They think Greenland should go back to Denmark. So I don't know, whatever you want to, I suppose the international press is going to be asking you, what do you think of that?
Well, I think that is entirely rude for them to come into my house, my happy home, and express to me how dissatisfied they are. Dissatisfaction. Ooh, I think that what I would say to that person is, how dare you, sir?
Oh, right on camera. You're directly confronting them. Well,
Bostonia is a land of you're not allowed any second thoughts, right? No second thoughts.
Yeah.
So my first impulse is to say, how dare you, sir?
Yes.
When you come into someone else's home, you want to start off with some encouragement. You don't want to start off with all the things you think they're getting wrong, because then they won't learn. Instead, you want to find a way to encourage them to continue doing all the great things they're doing, and potentially that there is a way to improve. Ethan Coen understands that.
And Joel, kind of.
Joel just loves positivity, and that's what we really take him in for. But I would think that if you would like a country to do what you want to do, then first you have to look at what your country hasn't done correctly. Your country, sir, doesn't have a Greenland. Without a Greenland, how can you comment on how another nation has their own Greenland?
Ours recently does.
It sure does. It sure does. And so I think that if you're going to judge somebody, you have to look at the house you're building yourself.
John Smith, Negativity Weekly. So this ruler, he recently posted on Twitter before he came to Bostonia, saying that he was going visiting the crappy home. Now, he explained that was a typo, but do you believe it?
Well, it's hard for a typo to add extra letters, if you know what I'm saying. We don't have Twitter in my country, so we have it's shearer.
Shearer, yes.
You bleat. You don't tweet. You bleat.
Yes.
And so our bleats are all positive. So I would say that I will take you in your explanation because it was your first impulse, but your first impulse also was that typo. So I now have to decide whether or not your nation is very trustworthy.
Now Paul McGillicuddy, Generic News Nightly. Hello. We're the number 1 rated news source in the world. The UN has said that they're not quite happy with this frosty exchange. They've just tweeted that. They're kind of looking on nervously at live TV. They figure it might be good to be more friendly. That bad ruler is also being like, well, you know what? Maybe it really is a crappy home.
Well, what I would say to that is that if you're going to have a problem, maybe you shouldn't call your organization un. We're not un anything here. We're very pro. We are so pro. If it was the PRO talking to me, then I would say that we have a positive solution that we can get. But all of these uns, unlawful, unregulated, those are words that I don't understand.
The whole press loved that one.
I'm very happy, and that's why this is happy home. A lot of smiles in this house.
The ruler even had a rueful smile at that people picked up.
You got to have a sense of humor in Bostonia.
He's going to go away. He's going to go on his plane and fly off. He's probably going to go to the UN and complain, and they're probably going to be a bit outraged by the whole change your name to pro or shut up sort of attitude. They're probably going to be making resolutions on the whole Greenland thing. So we might have to watch out for that.
Well, all I got to say is if they're probably going to do something, you can't probably without a pro. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So you're just gunning for the UN at this point, saying no, you're not doing.
Well, they told me I needed to get into a war in the first place. I didn't want to go after Denmark. I didn't want to have to attack Greenland and take it over, but they wanted it, and now they're saying that because I did the thing that they told me to do, and they know I'm impulsive. They know I'm going to do the first thing that comes to mind. I did that. And then now that they don't like the consequences of it, well, this is a consequence culture, okay? This is a consequence culture.
Speaking of consequences, because I do have 4 questions left for your rule, but they're kind of big ones. So we got bad news. I actually got from Captain Adam. He's just after stopping a coup attempt from some people in the Senate. What
they're probably not happy. They're not happy at till 600. Huh?
Yeah,
okay,
probably
that's understandable.
Not. Yeah, a lot of them are related to each other apparently. But yeah,
how do you sheep shearing nation? So
yeah, so there's like 30 of them that he's arrested. What do you want us to do with them?
Well, I mean, if it's 30, that means I've still got 70 on my side. So that kind of feels like they're asking for an underdog situation. I can see how the un got involved there. Yes. You know, I would say, like, let's give them a sporting try. Let's see what they can do. Let's see. You know what? Go for it. See if you can actually convince the people.
Oh no! When I say a coup attempt, I mean they're coming into your
like a literal
to kill you.
coup.
Oh, literally like kill you.
Oh,
yes.
It's not a battle of ideas. Like an election.
Oh God, no! Oh God,
no. Wow, they're coming to kill me. That's just nihilistic.
If you hear the little noise outside the bunker, it's them with a drill, actually.
Oh,
I mean, they have been, they've been arrested, but they were left to drill.
Well, good luck with that. I got a huge bunker and they have a drill. Oh gosh, you know, they don't.
Oh, no, it's the big drill that you sit into.
It's one of them. Oh, okay, yeah, no, okay. So they're coming to kill me right now. In fact, in that case, I would say let's go to my sub bunker.
Your which?
My sub bunker. You don't just have one bunker. You have a secondary bunker. It's a panic, and that bunker has a panic room inside.
So you are fleeing into the sub bunker.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. And do you want the army or the sheep shearing warrior monks to go out and sort them out, or?
I mean that's the next layer of protection is those warrior monks. I have to ask you though, are these senators from the north, south, east, or west? Because I need to know which style of senator I'm facing here.
Mostly from the west.
Okay. Well, that's the zealots. So we're pretty fucked. Excuse my. Was that French?
I think it was English, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, whatever language it is, we're fucked. If they can get into my sub basement, but if all they have is a drill and they don't have the special sheep shearing drill that my scientists are working on, then I'm not sure how well they'll do, because these doors were graded against everything but the most powerful weapon I've ever created.
Friendship. They have friendship.
They have friendship. Well, they have community, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't saying whether that was good or bad for them. I just said that they are, they're good friends. So just there is a few other issues, and I suppose at the minute
we've got a coup going on, but I've got a few. Sure,
we'll leave them outside for a minute, and we'll
as long as it sounds like. As long as it's that decibel level, we're okay. If it gets and then we have to probably run.
That's so we did get good news from Paul in finance. Paul said he checked the books. We actually have a lot of money in the country. So he figured, do you want us to build a big statue for you? What do you want us to build?
Can we pay the coup plotters to go away first?
He was going to say the whole. They're not really looking for money. They're zealots, they just want.
Oh, they have principles.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, big fucking statue sounds great.
So what type of statue do you want of you? Do you know what pose or what moment from your life, or what?
Well, I'm a big thinker, so it would certainly have to be some kind of thinking pose. But I also want to, as a thinker, I can't think too much because I have to go with my primary impulse.
Yes.
I want to have just decided something. So kind of an moment right before I commanded it, or right after I figured it. So
like a 35-foot tall statue of you going,
there we go. Yeah. Make sure my lips are nice and downturned.
Yes.
Like not quite a chef's kiss, not quite the because that's kind of after the idea has been assessed as positive. I think in this it's like, hey, let's try that out, and that.
We can spend a lot of money on getting that look right. I mean, we can keep doing iterations of it. We as we've done that, we're on the 8th iteration of that statue, and Paul's after emailing again. He actually got the finances wrong. It turns out there was a minus sign he forgot about. We're actually bankrupt, so the IMF are wondering what's going on. They're going to come in and take over the country if we don't figure out a plan to make money. So do you have any kind of quick get rich quick scheme going?
Can we sell Paul? I think we should sell Paul.
How much should we say? How are we going to convince people to buy him for however much?
We could shear him.
Do we dress him up as a sheep?
I think that's probably the best way about it. We could dress him up as a sheep, as the grandest sheep, as a human sheep hybrid, because that's what our scientists are working on. In fact,
do we say that this is you shearing a sheep, like you've mastered?
I think Paul's gender is male, so he's not a you. He's a.
Oh, well, sorry. Does Sir His Dudeness shear the sheep as an act of civic?
Of contrition? Do I have to be contrite now? Oh my goodness! Oh wow, we've worked ourselves into.
I mean, do you try to play it off a bit of patriotic duty as well into it? So people will, and of course, you pay more money for His Dudeness's sheep that he sheared.
That is a grand idea to both solve our financial issues and also give me the opportunity to likely kill Paul. Not that I would do it on purpose, but I'm going to tell you, I am terrible at shearing sheep. When I try, people die. So
you could kill a few senators that might be waving and going over to the other side.
Well, hopefully they'd have learned their lesson by then, and they stand way back. You know.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Or another state.
On a different floor, so that I can't run around with the.
Oh, you're still in the sub bunker. I forgot. So are we sending Paul in dressed as a sheep, and I won't tell him what's happening, right?
I think that's probably for the best. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
He would probably get really sad and sourpuss if we told him what was actually happening. So we gotta, primary impulse. Just gotta go with it. I'm
just going to say to Paul, get onto the IMF, say we're solving the money issues, and it's cheaper by the dozen. Try and put in a punt from or something, and then
those dad jokes are perfect. You really understand the country here.
Thank you. I've been a vice for several years. And I'll send Paul in, and we can hopefully get a couple of million off that. Surely, at least it'll just be a sign from the IMF that we're doing stuff in the right direction.
Well, it's a novel approach, I think, and that's what I enjoy about it most. You know,
cool.
Who knows if it's going to work, but like that's what I love about it.
So what I figure we could do, and this last question I have is that, I mean, you've ruled, you know, you've led your people the best you can. You took over Greenland. At some point, you're probably going to decide this. So I suppose you're in your sub bunker. You have to make this announcement over video feed, live feed. Who would become your heir? And what speech would you give to announce their ascendancy? And I just put a restriction that it would be someone who is alive. Like it can't be just a future hypothetical person that isn't alive yet.
Oh, so I can't give it to the child that I haven't had yet.
Yes.
Got you. Well, we are a nation of orphans. So I would probably have to pick the greatest orphan among us, which I'm going to be honest, it's probably Batman.
Oh, so wait, you're picking Batman, but I mean, are we talking, you know, the newest Batman, whoever is playing him? Or are we picking the original Batman or Kevin Conroy?
Well, no, the real Batman, the guy we're gonna pull Batman out of Gotham City because he's an orphan and he would love our country. He would love it.
So I'm just wondering. So considering he's a fictional character.
Yes. Oh. Yes.
How are we pulling Batman? Are we leaving it to DC Comics?
No. We're going to get the real Batman. There's a real Batman.
Okay.
The real Batman, he doesn't have any of the fancy gadgets and he doesn't have any of the money, but he's been emailing me a lot.
Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to act as one of the citizens who's watching this on live feed. So as you're explaining that the real Batman has been speaking to you and he's the person who needs to run Bostonia when you retire.
He's and the reason is because I don't actually need anybody to take over my country. I simply need a figurehead. And who's a better figurehead than
Batman? So when I'm looking at, am I thinking, okay, I don't know, I thought Batman was fictional, but he's saying, no, this guy is Batman. He's the very essence of who Batman is as a character. So is this Batman on Bostonia already, or are we going to have to fly him in? Or
I think it's like the Dalai Lama. We have to go find the next Batman. It's like a reincarnation thing. I'm sorry, I don't know if we have time to get into all of the religious things that we believe on my island, but certainly the idea that a Batman will rise among us again is one of
Right.
the central tenets of our religion here.
So yeah, I don't think we do, just for the fact that alarm is going off, because they are actually after breaking through the 6th concrete wall to get into the bunker part. So you still are in the sub bunker. So you are happy to leave off the next Batman that we're going to find will be the new ruler of Bostonia. You're trapped in the sub bunker at the moment.
Oh, trapped is it's very cozy in here, and I enjoy coziness.
So you just plan to live out the rest of your life in this sub bunker, because those senators, they are just on their way.
Well, I'm a stoic, you know. So so being in the bunker, if they come to me and then that's how I go, that is how I go. But ideally, they won't get past the several layers of warrior monk and mutated sheep people that I have defending me with automatic weapons.
It's like the burial chambers of the old Egyptian gods, isn't it? They just piled a lot of stuff in there for the next world, but you just have it for the next life. Like
I love that you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah,
here. This is great. This is why we work together so well, voice.
This is in some ways strange but very fitting end to His Dudeness in Bostonia.
Hey, His Dudeness
founded an island,
yep.
Ended up in the sub bunker of the island after having conquered Greenland.
I mean,
still maybe someday we'll start a war with Canada if you can get out.
The Coen brothers are going to make a great movie about
it. Especially Ethan. Especially now. Yeah, especially Ethan. But Joel will be there. So basically I'm climbing out of your head and now returning to my own physical form. Thank you very much, Kyle. Do you think that went as well as you could ever hope if you actually ruled the country?
No, I think if I actually ruled the country, I probably wouldn't be given the benefit of the doubt as much as the voice in my head gave me a benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
However, I would hope that ruling a country would be that fun, because I just had a blast.
Cool. I am going to say thank you. By the way, I do actually want to ask you, do you want to plug any social media sites and stuff like that?
Sure. If people want to follow me for my writing, that's probably Twitter at Kyle F. Andrews. If people want to follow me more for my acting, producing, and writing, it's probably Instagram at Kyle F. Andrews. And if people want to follow me and stalk me, that's Facebook, and I'm not going to give that one out.
Yay. So, okay, yeah, I'm hardly on Facebook anymore either. Okay, I'm going to say for my own one, thank you very much, everyone, for listening to myself and Kyle Andrews for visiting Bostonia. If you would like to, and I'd really appreciate if you subscribed and left a review for this podcast. That really helps. Apparently, I still don't know much about podcasting. But other than that, I'm going to say goodbye and hopefully we'll be back next week for another episode. Goodbye.